I'm Oskar.
And I'm Dan.
And we just visited 100 countries.
This is pretty epic.
They just shoved us on.
After 4 years of full-time travel, we are entering a new phase in our lives.
We asked you guys for some questions as we're making this transition, and you guys delivered. So let's get right into it.
How are you both feeling right now?
I'm gonna be completely honest, I'm feeling so much better already after just having spent 2 months in one single place, not going around to new places all the time.
And me, I'm struggling mentally. The sad thing is that almost everyone we know who travels full time or who is a content creator who travels a lot is burned out, especially when you don't have a home to go back to and you're just going back to new countries. It is really draining. It's tough to keep up mentally, physically, and then keep up with work, keep up with your health. And on top of that, since we had COVID last summer, we're both experiencing some long COVID, especially I am feeling a lot of impacts on my brain. So like I struggle to focus, I have a lot of brain fog. So that together with a burnout it's a lot of fun, guys.
Top notch.
Yeah.
So on that note, do we still plan on visiting every country in the world?
Of course we do, because we love pain.
Well, so about 3 years ago, we were convinced that our life purpose was to visit every country in the world. We had this whole plan laid out. We were gonna visit 100 countries first before we turned 25, and then after that hit every country before we turned 30.
That was an adorably naive plan, thinking back, because at that point we'd been to quite a few countries. Do you know how many?
We'd been to 47. Exactly.
Yeah, so quite a few countries. But the thing about most of those countries was that they were very easy to travel in. They were more visited countries.
Or they were countries that we'd visited separately before, and we were just going back to them because we only counted countries we'd been to together.
Exactly. So they had a lot of tourism infrastructure. It was a lot of fun. Once you start going to countries that are a little less visited, you realize that travel is not always as easy and fun as it seems when you're going to the Thailands and the South Africas and the
Italy's of the world or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for us, although we were gaining a lot, the more places we went and the more we traveled, the more it started to feel like it wasn't a net positive experience, because we were just being so overwhelmed by everything we had to do and planning trips while you're already on an existing trip, and the challenges of going somewhere unfamiliar all the time, it just really gets to you. So as it is now, we don't plan on visiting every country in the world, but we do still, of course, love traveling. So we hope to go to, new countries now and then, but just not putting that pressure on ourselves mentally to be like, you have to go somewhere new.
Yeah. In our past era, we focused a lot on haphazard goals and specific timelines. In our new era, we're not going to be doing that. Basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're going to be guided.
This is our healing era.
Yeah.
So that in mind, what's your next big goal after 100 countries?
So after 3 years with this very specific, very quantifiable goal, it's obviously been a little terrifying almost thinking about what's on the other side of the mountain. But we've thought about it a lot, and we think we've come up with a pretty good definition of what our next goal is.
There were really two goals with starting this channel. The first was that we had already been traveling full time for a few years, or at least traveling a lot, but we hadn't really documented it besides photos. And it felt like such a shame to be young and exploring the world and not having anything to look back on where we're sharing our reflections, because we're not the type to write a diary, but if we record, we can make a video diary where we can look back. And even now, it's so fun to look back at 2020 and 2021 and be like, that was so cute, so innocent.
It's like the good old days, before everything started going downhill.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding, not fully, but yeah.
The second reason we started it was that, of course, some of you might know I have another YouTube channel called Selves, which I had years prior to this. I would travel a lot in the Middle East. Obviously, Oskar was coming along in other conservative places, and we'd constantly get comments asking, how do you feel comfortable traveling there? What is it like? What do you do? So then we saw this channel as an opportunity to show you guys it's really not so strange. There's so many places in the world that seem scary on paper, but you go there and maybe you have to change a few things compared to how you'd act in New York City or whatever. But for us, it's so worth it. And we just wanted to show that there are very easy ways and go anywhere and learn so much and see so much and not let any part of who you are stop you from doing that.
So yes, you can travel to 100 countries on a vegan diet. Yes, you can travel to 100 countries if you're LGBTQ+. There's nothing to stop you.
And our biggest takeaway from traveling to 100 countries is that although it's a huge learning experience, it's maybe not the most fulfilling or joyful way to spend your time. We're so grateful for this lifestyle, but there are a lot of drawbacks that we also haven't shared in our videos. course, a big one I'm thinking about is loneliness. Although we have the two of us, when you're constantly on the road, you rarely see your friends. We try to drag our friends on as many trips as possible, but obviously they have limited vacation time. The rest of the time, it's mostly us. When you're, in an isolated area in Uzbekistan, making friends is not so easy.
So as a result, we've defined our new goal, which is more of a mission statement to this. We will look for quality over quantity in our travels, moving at a sustainable pace that allows us to develop as people and as creators, which for us is what life is about, growing and learning from our experiences. To do that, we also need time to reflect, digest, and achieve balance.
So that sounds a little intense. We mostly wrote it for ourselves to think about the bigger picture than just being obsessed with one goal.
Because we are so passionate about travel. We've been doing it full time for so many years, but really do take our lessons from this. Because if we would have had someone who told us this before we set out on our goal, then maybe things would be a little easier right now. Maybe we wouldn't feel so mentally drained.
Getting to know some places well is so much more valuable than getting to know a lot of places on the surface. You learn a lot from both experiences, but for your own physical and mental health, the former is a lot better.
Ska vi prata om detta?
Nah.
Why not?
It's not relevant to the video.
Men liksom, ska vi inte ha med något av detta? Okej, så vilken fråga är näst? Okay, so moving on from there, you guys had so many questions about our travels and about other things sort of related, other things not really at all related, but still very great questions. In order to not make this a 2-hour-long video, we're gonna save some of those questions for a later Q&A and try to keep this more on topic.
And very quick. And the most important question related to our travel that we got, I think, is why is Oskar always the one driving?
Well, it's funny because we get that question pretty much on every single video where we have a rental car because I'm always the one behind the wheel.
And the truth is that I do drive, and when we're home, I probably drive a little more than Oskar just because he drives so much when we travel, so I'm like, I don't want to forget how to do it. So I drive when we're home, where we know the routes, because that's the important thing.
There are few things I hate more in life than being the co-pilot. What are your top 3 favorite countries? We get this question all the time. Like, what's your favorite country? What's the best place you've been? What is your least favorite country? Don't think we're going to be answering that in this video because we don't want to piss off the whole country.
Yeah, but there's 3 countries we know are insanely amazing. I mean, there's way more than that, but okay, you say yours, I'll say mine, and then we'll...
Oh wow, okay.
Well,
starting from 3 to...
No specific order, just...
no specific
3.
order.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, good. Okay, Thailand is a given, and I know that's a given for both of us because everything is just so amazing, so easy, people are so friendly, amazing food. And then actually our 100th country was pretty freaking amazing. We both fell in love with it. So New Zealand has entered that top list. And I mean, okay, part of me is like sort of ashamed for saying this third one, but I think it would have to be the US. The nature is so incredibly diverse. There's cities with all different kinds of vibes, and being there is just really easy. People are generally super friendly as well.
So, okay, we clearly talk about this a lot because I was thinking maybe we'll have some differing opinion, but no, we have the exact same opinion. I agree. The thing is that these are not the most exciting or exotic countries. Personally, when we follow someone who is very honest about their favorite countries, it makes us feel so good. Seeing people have been to every country in the world who are like, yeah, you know, Thailand is our favorite country, Mexico is our favorite country. Because the truth is that although it's really cool to travel to more exotic places, no one's going to want to spend an extended amount of time in many of those countries.
Yeah.
So being
nice catch.
So being completely honest about the places you genuinely think are the nicest to be in, even if they have drawbacks and there are other countries with better sides, it's just those are our three best all-around enjoyable places. What are your favorite countries for food?
I think I'm gonna hand over the mic to the foodie.
The one who lives to eat.
Yes.
We have ranked this. We constantly change our rankings. I am very meticulous about this. And when considering all the factors, we have to say that Mexico is number 1, just because as much as we adore Thai food, which is our number 2, I have gone 2 weeks eating Thai food every single meal, every day. And I was kind of going insane, even though I love it so much. While Mexican food just has such a huge variety of flavors, which is what makes it amazing. The third, we would have always said Lebanese food until like the past 6 months, we have been cooking and eating so much international Chinese food, not Chinese food.
Exactly.
So some of our favorite dishes would be like dan dan noodles,
mahjong noodles.
Yes, one of my top 2 favorite restaurants in the world is a dim sum place. And then number 4 would be Lebanese, and then after that there's so many other places. But
Who are your favorite travel YouTubers?
well, besides Oskar and Dan, no, I'm kidding. I mean, yeah, we like.
I like Nonstop Dan a lot.
Oh my god, yeah, honestly.
He's a really good guy, actually. You
He's
should
a
check
bit
him out.
annoying. I don't like him. But
occasionally.
I do like Karen, or we like Karen Nate, Drew Binsky, Sense the Lens, our friends, Top Flight family, our friends.
Yes.
Love them so much.
Also not completely just travel, but I just have this eternal love for Yes Theory.
Yeah, he'll come out of like the other room just bawling, and I'm like, what happened? He's like, yes, Theory. Amar did his skydive.
They're the only videos I can cry to on YouTube.
Second last question. Do we ever plan on doing another group trip? We did one to Morocco last year, and it was an amazing experience.
So fun. I still
around.
think that like the one day we had in the desert there in the Sahara was one of the highlights of all of 2022. It was so amazing.
We're going 110 with these guys in back.
If you're watching, guys, it was so fun sharing that day with you and all the
whole
rest of the trip.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be something coming up.
There may or may not be something in the works. And then, last but not least, what advice would you give your younger selves?
So this is our final question. We're gonna get a bit serious because these are reflections for our younger selves, but hopefully they'll be valuable to any younger viewers out there or viewers of any age, honestly. So Oskar, what message do you have for young Oskar?
Imagine if Oskar was just like my drag name or something. Like my actual name is just completely different.
For young Andreas.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say be more confident and stand up for yourself more because you are so incredibly capable. Don't ever let anyone tell you or make you feel inferior. You'll go through some pretty horrible things growing up, and you're gonna have to mature way too early going through all that. But the most important thing is to always try to stay loving and understanding of everyone around you, including those that hurt you the most. And just know that there are wonderful things waiting for you on the other side of the hill.
Sorry, I can never be so serious, but my advice for my younger self, it's not so good to be a people pleaser. I was like the biggest people pleaser when I was younger. I mean, I'm still a people pleaser, but I've learned over the years with our travels, like I've been getting in more and more like little kerfuffles with people that we meet in our travels, which I love because before we would be so Swedish and passive aggressive, like, ugh, this person sat down next to us.
Saying it in Swedish, obviously.
Yeah,
so we
exactly.
don't
Like,
get it.
oh, this person sat down next to us and started smoking a cigarette right in our face when there was this whole park. Like back in the day, I would have been like, oh, we should move. Now I'm like, excuse me. What's up? Of course you should be kind to people. You don't need to make everyone happy and everyone love you. Just do you, just be who you want to be. Say what you want to say. And
Say
yeah.
what you want
I
to
love
say.
that.
Well, okay, on that note, we want to say thank you guys so much from the bottom of our hearts for coming along on this crazy, insane journey to 100 countries.
It's just so crazy to us that so many people have followed this journey and have cared about our random reflections on this is what we did in Tunisia. Like wherever we go, people have been curious about our thoughts, which feels so amazing. So we're so grateful. And tomorrow we're heading to country 101. Just kidding. No, we do have some cool travels coming up this year. Some really interesting things we're looking forward to sharing. Well, oh yeah, we didn't even mention that we have several videos we shot in the end of last year from some of our favorite places with some really, really amazing videos.
Yes, so those coming up first. And then after that, 2023, a new way of travel begins.
So until we see you all in the next video,
see you around the world. By the way, if this is the first time that you see a video on our channel, you can check out the full 100 country journey here in this card. Yeah, it would be really fun if you wanted to watch that. So yeah, thank you. See you around the world.
Thank you.